Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we have Yasmine on the line from a week ago who told us a story, and she has DNA test results to let us know who her dad is. She has not known who, for sure, her biological dad is. But before we get there, to catch you up on last week's phone call, here's how we got here today.
Yeah.
So my other, just one more question as a brief follow-up. The reason you're getting the DNA test, though, is because your mom came to the door and said, it's actually not your kid to him, correct? That's why.
Right. Correct.
Got it.
Correct. With a fake DNA test.
With a fake one.
So,
Got it. Nailed it. I just wanted to double check.
Only faked by saying this is a fake test, like by handwritten on the DNA test, not through any kind of blood.
She went through like a computer, she forged documents my whole life. Like she would forge like doctor's notes, leases, credit scores, like whatever you needed, she would.
Your mom needs a reality show that I would watch every week.
And you don't know, that's not even like the tip of the iceberg.
It has to be.
That's not even the tip of the ice. There's so much.
No, there can't be anything else.
Oh, there's so much. No, I literally have like a spreadsheet of like timelines that I'm trying to like piece together. So
that was Yasmine's life on the air. Yasmine, welcome back to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
We're now in real time. This is live. And Yasmine hit us up yesterday and said she got the DNA results in and she would call us when they happened. But Kenzie was out sick, so I said, let's do it. Let's wait a day and let's get it in. So myself and Casey, even though we talked to you yesterday, we don't know the results. Kenzie doesn't know the results. But welcome in. I imagine before you give us those results, it's been a pretty emotional, wild week.
It's been a week, yeah. It's been a week. I went out to visit them. They live not far in the suburbs. I'm in the city, so I went out there and we opened it together. I did peek before I went over there.
You peeked?
How could you not? Would you not really?
Oh, my gosh. Well, Brian, me didn't have a baby with you. You ruined the gender reveal.
So when you say that, when you say you went to them, how many people were there in the room?
Just him and his wife.
Okay, so is this the person that you want to be your biological dad?
Yeah. Well, I don't have like a line of other people lining up to be my dad to do a DNA test.
Jeez.
But no, it would be. It would be nice. Like I have his last name. He named me. Like it would be nice for that to like know my heritage and where I come from. Like, I think everyone would want that information at some point. But like I'm happy with. The dad that raised me is a great guy, and he's my dad for all intents and purposes. He did raise me. But it would just be nice to know, where you come from. And I was really, hoping that this would be the guy because he's a great guy. And he never had kids. She never had kids. His wife never had kids. He was, like, scarred by my mom. He duld date for, like, 25 years.
Good Lord. Your mom, we've heard about your mom with the 4 kids with 4 different dads.
She like ruined these men.
Oh God!
All of them were swore off women for years. One of them never got remarried, never even like dated. Like she really did a number on these guys.
Wow.
And she's like, I can't go to her for information because she's not a very honest. You can't get a straight answer out of her.
You made that clear on the whole conversation before about some of that. So I'm so glad, and you're being so honest and open. First off, we really appreciate that. We all consider the show family and the people who listen to it. And so that's why we wanted to be here when you opened the envelope. Of course, you already did that, and you're going to give us the results. So you were there with the people that you were hoping that person was your biological dad.
Yes. Kenzie, you did a great recap, by the way. I was very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I listen, okay? I am here for you.
I will tell you that I listened, but I got a headache. I couldn't focus. It was very difficult. Thank God Kenzie's here to help break that down.
She had it down. She was like, I was like, she's got it. She took notes or something. She was on it. I went over there. They cooked me like a feast. We hung out. We had a good time.
Did you eat before you opened the envelope?
Yeah, we hung out for a couple hours.
Oh, my God.
Well, mind you, she already peeked.
Oh, I forgot she peeked.
She could relax a bit.
Yeah. So let's get to it. After that nice meal and a beautiful time, and you hoping this was the person that was your father, what were the results of the DNA test?
He is not the father.
Oh, no!
You are not!
No!
That seemed unnecessary.
Really
that
sucked.
flash dance.
Oh, my God, Brian.
Not good.
Oh,
She's
my
sad.
goodness.
Read the room.
Do you remember?
Oh my gosh.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
it sucked, but they were very adamant that like no matter what, they want to be in my son's life, and that he considers me his daughter. And he was like, I was there when you were born. I named you. Like you're my daughter. We want to be in your life. Like regardless, this doesn't change anything. And I feel the same way. You know, he
Right.
wasn't. He raised me for 3 years, and you know, like he named me and everything. So I feel like we've still been talking. I call him every day. He really likes that. We're gonna hang out on Monday again, and like I'm still going to be close with them. I think that they like that too, because they don't have kids or grandkids, so it's like still nice to have that connection.
Sure.
And his wife is like so awesome, and so I mean it sucks though, because now it's like there's just a big question mark. And the guy that raised me did tell me another possibility, which just opened like a whole nother can of worms.
No.
Because it's someone in my not blood related, but
Well,
related
that's
by
good.
marriage.
Are you planning on reaching out to any the
No.
man who raised you? You're not going to continue this journey.
I might do like Ancestry DNA or like 23andMe. Like they're on sale right now on Amazon or something, so I might do that. But I don't think anything's going to come from it. Like the other two possibilities, one is like not even in this country and was related by marriage, and that would blow up like an entire family in my family. And I'm not trying to do any of that.
Right.
You're really thought out on this. I really say you're really a good person on how you're doing all this. I really respect that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
I try.
I really get it, girl, because the other day my husband's like, you should take one of those ancestry things. I'm like, no. Because when I find out I have a
Imagine
sister,
how many lives those have ruined.
I want no part. If I find a halvesies out there, a quarter or something, it's going to cause all these problems. And I get it. It's like, is it worth it? You do have two, it seems like pretty awesome men that
Yeah.
love you and are father
Yeah.
figures now
I'm
in your
good.
life.
I'm good with that.
And that's really what it's all about, is the people in your life.
Exactly.
You can't choose your biology, you know, who birthed you, but you can choose the people in your life that treat you right. And that's the message for 2025, I think, overall, is to the people. That is, this is a weird way to say it, but I guess, you know, Brian, Kenzie, Casey, you know, we can all be your dad, too. We're all family here
Okay,
together.
I'm not going to be her dad, but I will be her friend.
I would.
Thank you.
I would.
And you know, it's funny you say that, because my son's dad his brother did the Ancestry DNA, and they found two halvesies out there.
Ugh, this is what I
And
need.
their dad is deceased, so they can't even like confront him about the cheating. They were like, he was married to their mom.
Yeah.
Right.
So imagine like that. Like I don't even want to know. Like I don't want to know if I have like cousin siblings out there. Like I'm good.
You know what I would love? If Case did Ancestry DNA and found out that Rudy was his uncle. That would be incredible. If maybe you should get on that case.
I'll get right on that,
I
Brian.
mean,
yeah.
I mean, you know, you grew up around Notre Dame, and maybe I know he's from Joliet, but maybe that could happen.
Wait, you think my mother did something?
I don't know.
You also have little bitch arms, so both of you got.
That's right. Rudy had little bitch arms.
That's right, he did.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, Yasmine, please keep in touch with us and call us anytime you want about what's going on in your life, because you were so entertaining, so honest, so open.
If you do take one of those DNA tests and you find out you have, 47 halvesies or something like that, if you could just call us with those updates,
Yeah.
we would love to know what's happening.
Yeah, we need you on the show.
I will definitely let you know if there's any updates. I think this will be the end of this road. It's like I have two guys that want to be my dad,
Yeah.
and that's more than some people can say about their biological dad.
You're damn right.
You
You're
know,
damn right.
and if it, like, obviously whoever it is didn't want to be involved. If they knew they didn't want to be involved, and there's no, the two options are a bunch of schmucks. So I'm gonna just leave that door closed and
Good
just
deal.
go with what I got.
I gotta be honest. I know your mom was a handful, but she sounds like she picked some great men. I mean, they're both so
Right?
kind.
I mean, she used to practice, like, I think she used to be, she's from Cuba, and her dad was like a priest for like Santeria or something.
Hold on, we
I
can't.
think she
we
had a little bit of like witchcraft going on.
yeah, we
Oh,
can't.
okay. No,
Please.
hey, how dare you? I'm taking notes and you keep interrupting.
I'm saying, can we save that for another show? We need this content. Yasmine, thank you
When
so
I
much.
release the book, I'll let you guys know.
Appreciate you.
Amen.
Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Have a great rest of your day, guys.
You too. What a sweetheart. Thank you so much for sharing your life, and that's what we hope, that's what this show is we share a lot, and hopefully you share a lot, and I like her perspective on that a lot. I'm gonna tap. I couldn't do that. I'd keep going. I have to find out the person.
And you just ruin everyone. Of course, you'd take everyone down with you in true Brian fashion.
I am taking the grenade, pulling the pin, and I'm getting between everybody, and I'm putting the grenade in my mouth, and we're all going down
You
together.
just show up everywhere. Like, did you sleep with my mom?
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We're going to pour one out for two legends here in a second. But first, we do want to get to the weekend Q101. There's a whole blog about it on Q101's Facebook page to find out what's going on this weekend. Casey, you always start with the music. What's happening?
Very briefly, for the weekend Q101 this weekend, I want to be sure to mention that our crew member, Chef Sean, is in a band called Rad Skulls, and they will be playing with the punk band Direct Hit at the High Noon Saloon in Madison, Wisconsin tonight.
Hell yeah.
So if you find yourself in Madison, Wisconsin, why don't you head on over to the High Noon Saloon.
Done.
As for Chicago, this is a big weekend in music. It is Tomorrow Never Knows Festival weekend, which is a yearly tradition. It's a great showcase for a lot of up-and-coming bands. This is throughout a bunch of venues in the city. The whole goal is to show up at a venue and find a new band that you love. I will be at Lincoln Hall tonight for the band Ben Stellar. They played Lollapalooza last year. Very funny. The band's name is Ben Stellar. They played Lollapalooza. I said a few weeks ago they were my favorite musical discovery of 2024. They put out their first full-length record last year. If you like The Strokes, if you're like Interpol or a band like Franz Ferdinand, you would love this band again. Ben Stellar tonight at Lincoln Hall. A few tickets still available, and I will be hanging out there tonight.
Kenzie, weekend Q101.
Cubs convention, baby.
Well, let's
Kicks
go.
off today, and obviously goes through the whole weekend, like through Sunday. So that's going to be awesome, and there's a special guest this year welcoming back for the first time, Sammy Sosa.
I'm going to do it properly there.
Thank you. I'm used to doing my own sound effects. It's fine because I don't have a sound effect board. But obviously autographs, tons of panel discussions, all the nerdy fan out, things that you can do with the Cubs. And I think it's really cool that Sammy Sosa is officially being welcomed back. Kind of a fun fact. A few months ago, he did this charity event at Club 400, which is a Cubs charity, but it's not actually owned by the Cubs. It's this guy named Stu owns it, and he raises money
Stu.
for Cubs fans. Stu.
I know him.
So very cool. Sammy came back there. This was before the Cubs welcomed him back. He got asked on stage, actually, by my husband who was interviewing him, like, how do you feel about, like, kind of the Cubs not opening their arms to you? And he goes, I know that will change. And the Cubs had recently said, like, no about that. And he goes, no, it will change. He's like, God is good. I'm a better person than I used to be. I have given my life to God, and I know it'll change. And just a few months later, he's at the Cubs convention. So good for him.
There you go.
Manifestation, baby.
The weekend Q101. I'll be watching football weekend, probably at the Gallup Brewery on Saturday night with Harper. Watching that second Lions game with some new dads. Got to meet my friends out there. But before we get to the weekend, let's honor some people. Let's not forget who we lost this week. Certainly pouring one out for two legends.
How do I say goodbye?
And, when you live a long life, you can go, well, he certainly had a long one, a good life, and it is great. But it doesn't make it not less sad. Bob Uecker passed away for our Milwaukee Brewer fans that listen to the show. 50 years behind the microphone, but really known for his humor and just the wild things he did in certain movies, like, of course, Major League. He was the baseball announcer there. Whereas since Case hasn't seen this movie, he's going to watch it next week now, Major League. In this scene, Charlie Sheen, Wild Thing, is, of course, throwing some wild pitches, and Bob Uecker's famous line,
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8.
Ball 8.
Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches.
So good. He was hilarious. It's funny. He's a player, and he was never known for being a player, but obviously 50 years for the Brewers announcing and then the movies he's done. He's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he's in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, because Andre the Giant chokes him out at, I think, WrestleMania 3.
It's hilarious.
What?
Yes. He was awesome.
So funny.
He was in those old Miller Lite commercials, if you remember when you were a kid. The Miller Lite commercials used to always have that, and he would come up there pretending he was somebody important, but, of course, always getting thrown out of wherever he was. This is hilarious.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it! I love them. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row. Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
He's getting dragged out by security when he's yelling, they missed the tag!
I must be in the front row.
He must have been in like 50 of those commercials. It's funny because you guys know those lines without knowing those commercials or the movie, just a bit outside. And then finally, to honor Bob Uecker, another legend that passed way too soon, Norm Macdonald tells a story on David Letterman back in the day about him because they were apparently good friends and he would sit in the booth with him sometimes when he was announcing Brewers games.
Bob is a very, very funny man, and I often go in the booth with him,
Oh, sure.
So one time we were there, and John Fogerty was in the audience. A fortunate son, So John Fogerty was there. So Bob Uecker is a very interesting guy. He thinks of everybody as the same. He doesn't think of people as stars or anything like that. He's a very down-to-earth guy. So he was talking to me, and he says, "Hey, man, you know that guy?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That's John Fogerty, rock and roll singer." So I go, yeah, I know who it is. He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "But I played in a golf tournament with him." He goes, "You probably think of him as some that likes to bite the heads off of chickens, but this guy can."
Oh, God. That's exactly how I think of him.
This guy can get it out of the sand trap like nobody's business. So he goes, "He's got a hell of a set of pipes on him." He goes, "Come the seventh inning stretch, I'll have him up here. He'll sing for you." So I said, no, Bob, don't do that. Like, don't have him come up and sing for me, please, He goes, "What's the matter, man? Don't you even know who he is?" So I go, "Yes, Bob, I know who he is. He did Creedence Clearwater Revival."
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, he did all that."
Oh, God. That just makes me miss Norm.
I know.
And Bob Uecker. Oh, my God. Well, rest in peace. 90 years old. What a run. What a life. What a career Bob Uecker had. And then we had another legend pass away who,
Good heavens.
I know. I got to do it again.
Murdering people this weekend, Brian?
I didn't do anything, I promise. And this is a movie legend and also a guy that really changed culture with music and movies, too, and just everything. I don't know how to, it's so weird to try to describe David Lynch, who died yesterday at the age of 78, and a major smoker. I mean, this guy smoked. And he lived to 78 still, died of emphysema, and Casey even saw something and said it may have alluded to the LA fires. The extra smoke there might have hurt his condition.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he already had.
He had to relocate from his home in Los Angeles, but he took in, smoke damage, basically, and it unfortunately expedited his passing.
Yeah, people might remember the first thing. There's the big movies, he did The Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, Wild at Heart, but the TV show Twin Peaks is what I remember back in the day, which was a huge, eerie show. You would love that show, Kenzie. I don't know if you ever heard of it or seen it.
I've only heard of the restaurant, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, well.
Unrelated.
Can we find out if that guy's alive?
I need to do a wellness check on him ASAP.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a great person who really respects women.
Twin Peaks really changed the vibe of TV. Like a lot of the shows you probably like today was inspired by that kind of show. It was a mystery horror drama. And this is the only way this is probably disrespectful in trying to explain to Kenzie the guy that was in this TV show. Kyle MacLachlan. Do you know that actor's name?
Wait, hold on, because I'm looking it up right now.
You're going to know him when you see his face.
Yeah, because he was on Sex and the City.
Oh!
He was Trey.
I was going to give a reference to the movie Showgirls.
Oh, yes, also a showgirl.
Because he was dating
oh, my God.
the girl from Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Elizabeth Berkley.
There you go.
Good pull, Brian.
Woo!
Well done.
Jeez.
Saved by the Bell.
Friday I got there.
I was just going to wait.
But
Yes,
he's an actor who's had a wild, different career of creepy stuff, funny stuff, everything, and he was in Twin Peaks. So it was a great show.
He has a hard time getting it up in Sex and the City, so he's had a journey.
That's a wild journey.
It is.
Didn't know that part of it. But yeah, David Lynch passed away, and again, the things he left to society, like for example, The Lost Highway had 9 Inch Nails and Smashing Pumpkins on that soundtrack, and using songs like that, The Perfect Drug from 9 Inch Nails was on that in the movie one of the first guys to do something like that, I would say.
Absolutely.
I can't really, it's hard to describe David Lynch, but you had a little tidbit of audio you wanted to play, Case, about David Lynch.
So I only know him as an actor. I'm familiar with Twin Peaks, but I've never seen the show. I obviously haven't seen any of his movies, but he did an arc on the show Louie, which was Louis C.K.'s show in the 2010s. While it was on, it was the best show on TV. And there's been a 4-episode arc where in the show, David Letterman is threatening to retire, and they're trying to find the replacement for The Late Show, and it's between Louis and Jerry Seinfeld. And David Lynch, and I didn't know who he was when I watched this, but in the show, he plays an old CBS executive who is trying to train Louis to get ready to host The Late Show. And this is one of their interactions, which I think is one of the funniest scenes in the history of a very funny show.
So you want to take over for Letterman. You want to host Late Show on CBS.
Yeah, that's...
Well, here's the thing with that, champ. That's short for champion. If you want to be a talk show host, it's better if you're funny. Now, there have been some guys who are not funny. Tom Snyder, David Susskind, Ted Koppel. But funny's better. Now, have you ever had any experience with being funny?
Yeah, I'm a comedian.
You're a comedian. I've known you for a week and you haven't made me laugh once. I had no idea you were a comedian. I thought you were a newsman.
That's to Louis C.K., one of the funniest guys ever. Oh, my God.
It says he was also on the Cleveland show.
He was. So he did, I think they basically busted him in for a weekend where he did voice work for Family Guy and the Cleveland show, and both are super funny.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So 2 real legends that are in all of our lives. And Bob Uecker and David Lynch, rest in peace. Pour one out today, Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren coming in, and as we said, as we did at 9 o'clock, we world premiered new music from Mumford & Sons. So that song coming up again today, Rushmere, at 10 o'clock. So when Lauren comes in here, she'll open up her show with new Mumford & Sons. And I got to say, I love it. It's awesome. So stay here for that. Now your takeaways from the entire week of shows with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Case, what do you got?
Takeaway from our friend Chef Sean: Florida is the flaccid penis of the country. Kenzie, think about its shape.
Yo, I get it.
She's got it.
Okay.
I was already there.
Okay, got it. I apologize.
As I said,
From her, I understood that she understood.
I gathered.
Yes.
Okay. Smitty, takeaway. Note to self, watch the Eagles game to see if Brian's wife is doing the helicopter with brand new tassels.
Oh, Jesus. 5 years after I proposed to her, this is where it's come to?
You're welcome, Megan. Enjoy the tassels.
Look for my wife on the Eagles-Rams game on TV in tassels, swinging them like a helicopter. Finally, takeaway from Juan: the fall of Indiana is imminent.
And I do want to chime in right now. 708, takeaway, a brand new listener, Mike. He said, my takeaway is I'm glad I just happened to find this show while scanning through the channels. New listener, gonna stick around for a while.
Oh, hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. We always say if you a new listener, welcome new ones in, and you can recommend people. Say, hey, listen for a week or two, and I think you'll like it. And if not, well, thanks for 2 weeks.
Well, awesome. I'm sure you won't listen after that.
Oh, no.
That was a disaster.
Stick around, buddy. Let's see here. Case Podcast. What do you got? That's a good way to catch up, by the way, if you're a new listener on the show. Tons of podcast content.
I was going to say, Mike, what you can do is find the Brian and Kenzie podcast this weekend wherever you already listen to podcasts, and you can check out today's show in which I reviewed the 1993 classic Rudy, a very emotional review. We checked in with listener Yasmine, who found out the DNA results. She found out who her father may or may not be.
Okay, who's your daddy?
Something like that. And, of course, we poured one out for the legend Bob Uecker this morning. That and more on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. If you miss us this weekend, that is where to find us.
Remember, tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, it's Throwback, so it's the funniest moments of the week. And for our new listeners, that's a great place to wake up to on Saturday morning. But then the podcast is available to you everywhere you get your podcasts, and, of course, the Q101 app.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.